Morning guys, and welcome back to the French Alps. So today I was going to do Alpe d'Huez, which is something I want to do on this trip, but checking it out last night is too far away to ride to, and it's like a 3-hour drive to get to where I'd want to start the ride, because I'd want to do some flat and then go up the Alp and then come back down the scenic way. So I nearly went this morning, but then I thought, well, on Saturday I'm going to go to Monaco anyway, and I want to do it via the Napoleon route. And the Napoleon route actually starts fairly close to Alpe d'Huez, and that's just basically a really scenic drive to Monaco area from Grenoble, I think. So I thought what I'll do is I'll leave here early on Saturday, because that's my last day here, and I'll go to Alpe d'Huez, do the ride, then do the scenic route down to Monaco. Probably arrive in Monaco quite late, but hey, we'll have 2 nights there, so we'll still get a full day in Monaco. And then I think after that I'm probably going to have to drive up home north. So today I've just picked a route from the local guidebook. It's pretty challenging, just over 6,000 feet of climbing and about 55 miles. It's about 90 kilometers. So yeah, it basically, we drop down towards Tonon again, and then we peel off and we do 3 climbs. We're doing the Col de Terramont, the Col de Cou and the Col de Feu. So yeah, we do those 3 climbs and then we have to climb back up to Morzine, which is always a drag. But yeah, so should be fun. So I'm just at the moment on the way back down to Tonon, about 5 kilometers outside of Morzine, and yeah, from there we'll do the ride. So probably won't get any more filming now until we get to, I think it's Joty, where we peel off. Okay, we just got to La Vernaz, so we just turned off the main road from Joty, and yeah, the view is pretty stunning. Tonon is somewhere over there, along with Lake Geneva. One bad thing is that there's a creak on my bike, you might have heard in some of the other videos, and I was pretty sure it was the front wheel because I've had the same creak before, and just adjusting the bearings fixed it. And knowing that front wheel's pretty old now, I actually brought a spare new front wheel with me from my Klima set that I've never used before anyway. I've put it on and it's still creaking, so that's pretty upsetting, but we can live with that. We'll try torquing up some bolts tonight. The problem with trying to fix a creak is every time you try something, then you need to test it, and it seems to take a while for the creak to settle in after setting off. And I just know it's going to be bottom bracket in the end, because that's like the only thing I can't do myself. Okay, so we're going to descend ever so slightly now, and then we'll do the first climb. Okay, we just hit the point where the ride's going to join back with this road. Saw a new set of climbing signs and got really confused. So yeah, Col de Terramont, 4 kilometers to go at 5% for the next kilometer. Steady away this one. Okay, we're at the top of the Col de Terramont. That was the easiest climb of the trip so far. It was basically 4 or 5% average, I'd probably say, over the full thing. I think the steepest section was 6% and the least steep section was 1%, and the last kilometer was just 2%, so it was awesome. We now descend a bit before the next climb. The next climb's only short, it's kind of just a bit of an extension to this. Yeah, then when we get to the top of that, we descend all the way down to basically the lowest point of the day, probably about on a par with Lake Geneva, before climbing up a really steep gradient. It's probably going to average about 8 or 9%, but it's only for about 4 or 5 kilometers, I think. Then we descend that and then climb back up to Morzine. So it seems to be going pretty quick today. I don't know why it feels like that, but it does. Okay. The roads are completely empty as well, which is really nice, and the surface is perfect. Probably the best surface of the trip as well. Okay, let's carry on with the next climb. Okay, I think we're at the summit of the Col de Cou. Col de Cou, is it? Yeah, I think we're at the summit of the Col de Cou now. Yeah, there's no sign here, there were no climbing signs, so maybe it's just not significant enough for that. It was in the guidebook though, and that's the route I'm following, the velo guide. But yeah, the scenery is completely different here, even though we're quite high up. It's kind of like a farmland. Doesn't feel like we're as high as we are. So yeah, now we descend, quite a big descent, and then straight away we climb again over the big climb. What was that called? The Col de Feu, which is yeah, short but steep. All right, I'm gonna have a bite to eat now, and then we'll set off again. Okay, just followed the signpost for the Col de Feu, so I think we're pretty much on it. But yeah, it's looking pretty daunting, because I know that we've got to climb what we just descended, and we just descended that, if you can see it. Yeah, we just descended that, which yeah, seems pretty mental to have to climb that much really quickly. See how it goes. We're also only 6 miles from Tonon, so yeah, pretty close. This ride's been different. We've just been going through loads of these beautiful small little hamlets. So something else you often get abroad at traffic lights, which is really good, and you get this all over the world apart from in England, is a little countdown timer on the red light, so you know how long you got to wait. And like, this is a long one, there's like 90 seconds left now, but say there was one on the Col de Cou, and it was on a really steep section and it had like 20 seconds to go, so I knew that I could just pace myself to get up to that red light, and when I got to it, it turned to, well, flashing yellow, because it's like warning of a dangerous bit of road because of roadworks. But yeah, that is the best invention ever, and we should have them on all the traffic lights in the UK. Other countries have them on all the traffic lights, not just the temporary ones. In France I've only seen them on the temporary ones, but yeah, they are really good. Please install them in England. Okay, we're coming up to the first sign here. So yeah, 5 kilometre, next kilometre is 9%. It's only a short climb, thank God. It's going to be steep though, it's going to be like that every kilometre I think. A little shot of the views we're seeing, not a lot to be honest. Made it to the top of the Col de Feu. Pretty steep, but only short, so not too bad. Annoyingly, the sign's not quite at the top, so I had to spin around and come back for it. So this is sort of like the end of the big climbs. We now just roll down the other side of this, which I'm going to film. I'm going to film the descent, and then after the descent there's just like a bit of a lump, which is where we came before. Was it Vernier, something like that it was called? And then after that it's just the climb back up to Morzine, which is just, it's pretty light. I think it's like an average 3%. So do that back up to Morzine. Not seen a cafe, which I'm pretty gutted about. Maybe there's one just over the hill here. Also maybe there's some better vantage points as well. Alright, let's crack on with the descent if there's nowhere else to look at first. Okay, we just stopped here in Jotti, just for a nice tea and a little rest before the climb back up to Morzine. Should be about maybe, I don't know, 14 kilometers or something, just under 10 miles. And yeah, so it's just the usual climb. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. Once again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.